Welcome to Brewing It Over with Cup North, the show that gives you the chance to deep dive into the topics shared in the content programme at our events. From social to consumer to sustainability issues, there's something for everyone. I'm Hannah Davis.
I'm Grace Talbot. How you doing, Hannah?
I'm very well, thank you. It's sunny here in Hebden Bridge today, and our colleague Magdalena is downstairs in my house working away, which is nice. We've got
amazing. Not keeping her captive.
Yeah, no, she's not captive. She's allowed to leave if she wants. We're planning a photography shoot this afternoon to take pictures of all the wonderful merch that we have from our festivals. So watch this space, folks out there. Soon we will have an actual web shop where you can buy amazing
like
t-shirts designed by Caroline Dowsett and all other manner of wonderful things. So yeah, it's a nice day. How are you? What are you up
to? Well, I don't have Carly downstairs, sadly. That would make my day just as lovely as yours. But I do have my lovely new dog, Sid, who happily I can say features in today's episode of the podcast. I do have him downstairs. So, you know what? I will probably never complain ever again because I have a fur baby now. So I think life's perfect. I think that's how it works. All my problems are solved.
The unconditional love of a dog heals everything.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. So doing well.
I'm a little bit jealous.
Well, he is technically a Cup North dog. So listeners, you can join me in this campaign because I have been campaigning Hannah to do like bandanas for dogs. And now that I have one, I feel that the time is now. So, you know,
now we're working on the
me
merch
in this
shop.
campaign, listeners.
Yeah, it's a good time to
exactly. So let us know if you agree with me that we should do it.
Instagram survey coming up.
It's just me constantly answering yes in different accounts. Okay, so today's episode features Georgina Jarrett, also known as the Afropolitan Barista, who recently joined a panel at Brewing Coffee Festival called Celebrating the People, a spotlight on some important industry folk. Georgina, aka Afropolitan Barista, started her career 9 years ago as a barista, having previously worked as a designer. She worked her way up to general manager and then moved into coffee training for young people with learning challenges, running pop-ups and advising startup coffee businesses. She currently wears a lot of different hats as the education chair for the CCRE, Coffee Coalition of Racial Equity, coffee trainer for the Little Coffee Company, and within EDI for leadership experts, Good Soil Leaders.
A busy coffee person, like most coffee people, I feel.
I know.
We all like to do lots of different things.
So busy.
Yeah. We had a wonderful chat with Georgina. It was incredible to learn more about her work with the CCRE, more about her involvement with activism and promoting the Black and Brown coffee community on her Instagram account. And we had a good chat about the benefits of working outside. Sid gets a mention, don't forget.
Yep. I think this might be a common theme. We also, I don't think it'll make the final episode of the podcast, but we did at the end when we were chatting with Georgina mention how like effortlessly stylish and cool she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sad that might not make the episode, so I'm mentioning it here now. Georgina's cool.
Yes, we're honoured to have a super cool guest.
Mm-hmm.
And for our usual listeners, the format of this podcast is a little bit different since we don't have a recording of Georgina presenting at Manchester Coffee Festival last year. So this episode is a little bit shorter than normal, and it's just the interview with, well, it's not just, it's an interview with Georgina. It's amazing.
So welcome Georgina. Welcome to Brewing It Over. Join us in the virtual space that we're in already.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We're super excited to have you. How are you? How's your day going? It's what day is it? It's Wednesday. How's your week going so far?
Week has been very busy, but I've been really enjoying the sunshine. I've been taking my office out to the park as much as possible, interacting with all the kids that like running past, and the dogs that like to, try and put their noses in my sandwiches whilst, or interrupt me whilst I'm in a Zoom meeting or Zoom call. So it's been eventful and busy, but it's been good. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, I know Hannah will want to chat more about taking the office to the park.
Mm-hmm.
Something close to her heart.
Oh, cool.
Before we get into it, we're going to do some lovely, relaxing, getting to know you questions for our lovely listeners to get to know a bit more about you.
Okay.
So they're super easy. Don't worry. You can't get the answer wrong. I say they're super easy. They're actually quite hard for coffee lovers, I think. But anyway, ramble over. Are you ready for
I
some
think
questions?
So. Okay, go fire away.
Number one. What's your coffee order?
Oh, my coffee order. So I normally just go for a flat white or a latte. If I'm feeling super, need a little bit of that sweetness, and I'll go for a mocha. I really love, I'm really into filters. My order is actually really, really long, but I also love filters. I'm really into filters at the moment. I've been having some really amazing Ethiopian filter coffees at the moment. So yeah, super, super nice.
Nice. So do you have all of those at once? Is it like flat white, latte, filter,
I have
mocha?
been known to do that, actually. I have been known to do that. Yes.
I respect that.
Try that one. No, that one. Oh, I'll try that one as well. Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for people who order
many times, yeah.
a milk drink and a filter,
Yeah.
because it takes a bit longer for the filter. So you drink your flat
Yeah.
white while you're waiting for the filter. Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. And why limit yourself?
Yeah.
Why not? Why
You're
limit
speaking
yourself?
our language.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get our fabulous barista Hannah working on the multiple drinks to fulfill your dream coffee order.
Awesome.
If we are in the dream cafe about to experience these beverages, what music is playing?
Oh my. Well, recently hip hop celebrated their 50th anniversary, so I'm in that kind of nostalgic hip hop kind of mood. Jay Dilla and some let me see, Q-Tip and Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul and all that sort of stuff. So I'm sort of in that kind of mode at the moment. So it changes from season to season, but right now it's the hip hop feel for me.
That's amazing. What a great answer. I also hope that we get you back like next year and we ask the same question and it's completely different. Like to find what musical season of your life you're in.
Yeah. That will probably be the case, actually. Yeah. Yeah, probably be like blues or I don't know, something like jazz or something. I
Life
don't know.
is changing.
Yeah.
I think weather really influences it as well, doesn't it? Like I feel way
It
more
does.
like nostalgic when it's sort of autumnal and I want like songs from my youth. But when it's bright, I maybe want like more upbeat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure smarter people than me know the relationship between weather and
No, that
music
sounds
tastes.
about right. No, I think that sounds good. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Well, speaking of nostalgia, this is the last question, so you can relax after this. Do you have a most memorable cafe experience or like one of your best coffee shop experiences that you'd like to share?
Memorable coffee shop as a customer or like as a customer?
You are free to interpret the question how you want, but usually, could be when you were working. I mean, nobody's answered like that, but that's interesting.
Memorable coffee experience. I've had a few memorable coffee experiences. I'm just trying to think of one that's sort of stuck out in my mind. I think one of the memorable coffee experiences I've had actually is probably when I went to watch an Ethiopian coffee ceremony. Now that was like blew me away, and that was in London actually, and I'd never experienced that before, and just the sort of the detail and the sort of the time that goes into preparing the coffee, and this whole kind of, it's all about being bringing people together and connecting back to spirit and connecting back to nature. And it's just so kind of, it forces you to slow down. And usually most consumers of coffee, they're always like grabbing coffee as they go, but this is like completely opposite to that. This is like, you sit down, you have a conversation, you take time, you drink your coffee. It's phenomenal. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That would be
What an
my
amazing
most
answer.
I think that was my most memorable.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember the name
Anything
of the
that
place.
reminds you.
Yeah.
Well, if you remember it, we will put
Yeah.
it in the show notes of this episode, because I feel like a lot of
It's
folk will want to experience that.
yes. From what I remember, it's in Camberwell. But for the name, I'll definitely let you know.
Yes. Yeah. Watch
Mhm.
this space. You'll see
Mhm.
me and Hannah there, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely. It's definitely worth a visit for sure.
can we go to Ethiopia, please?
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
even
That would
better.
be the real experience,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brewing It Over live record in Ethiopia next year, maybe?
Yeah.
What do we
Ooh.
reckon?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Send me my invitation. I'll definitely be there.
I mean, you're the originator of the idea, so it'd be rude if you didn't come. I mean,
Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good. I like that.
amazing.
Cool.
Georgina, have you
Yeah.
been to any origin
Well, what a
countries?
lovely.
No, but not yet. But I am in September next month. I'll be heading to Brazil
Oh,
for an
exciting.
origin visit, and actually that's with the Coffee Coalition of Racial Equity. So I'm really looking forward to that. That will be my very first. I
Wow.
feel like it's so overdue, so
Yeah.
overdue. So yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to that one.
Oh, it'll be
Amazing.
incredible.
What are you
Yeah.
It'll
doing
just
over there, if you don't mind?
So we'll be visiting some farms, looking at the whole process of cultivating coffee, and I guess for me, I'll be just learning everything from scratch, because this is like completely new area for me. So yeah, I'm just going to be a sponge and just soak it all up. So yeah.
Will
It'll
you
be
share
good.
pictures with us?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'm going to take so many pictures,
Good,
loads of
good.
videos. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Oh, yeah. We'll swallow our jealousy
Mm.
somehow, I'm sure.
Have
That
you
first time,
visited any origins at all? Just curious.
I've been to Brazil. Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have.
And the
Oof.
first time, yeah, it just puts everything into perspective. And just the first
Yeah.
time you see like a line of coffee trees, it's pretty emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I know. Bring loads of tissues. I'm sure it's going to be the same for me as well.
And insect repellent.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the number one on the packing list was bug repellent. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have like a
And good shoes, I imagine.
Oh,
I
yeah,
bet you're going to do a
definitely.
lot of walking.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and
Gonna...
also in Brazil, some elasticated like waist trousers, because they like to feed you
Oh.
there, and it's
Oh.
great. They're very
Oh
hospitable.
no,
I
how
like.
terrible.
I
I
put on
mean,
weight when I was there because they just keep giving you food, and it's
Oh,
amazing. So
wow.
you're just like,
Oh.
oh, this is brilliant. Yeah. So
Oh, that
yeah,
sounds
enjoy it
that's
all.
yes,
yeah.
I will definitely. Oh, I can't wait. I'm really excited. Really
Yeah.
excited. It's not too far away,
Increasing my
so
jealousy here.
oh dear. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah, I can't wait.
Great.
Can't wait.
And you're going
Oh.
with. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
no,
Hannah.
go on,
You
Grace.
go
I think
ahead.
you're going to ask the same question.
You're going with the Coffee Coalition of Racial Equity, is that right?
Yes. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
a group of us
Are you
heading out there.
happy to share with our listeners a little bit more about the work that you do with the CCRE?
Oh, sure, yeah. So CCRE, Coffee Coalition of Racial Equity. So basically, it is a coalition of people who have basically come together to sort of address diversity and equity amongst, or racial, specifically racial diversity and equity within the coffee industry. And the idea is that we are uplifting individuals within their careers, whether that's a barista all the way to the farmers, looking at the social economical imbalances and trying to readdress those issues. And sort of some of the ways that we've done this is by having webinars where we've spoken on various topics, from how coffee came to be cultivated within Europe, within the Caribbean, like how did it get there, how was it cultivated in Africa and some other places which people may not be aware of, Haiti and Honduras, Panama, and various other places like that. And we also have conducted quite a bit of research in terms of the impacts of race and coffee via colonialism, imperialism, obviously slavery as well, and looking at telling those stories through our lens, because sometimes when we do our research in coffee and its history and its origins, sometimes it can be quite romanticized, and this allows us to sort of tell the history of coffee, some of the ugly truths and some of the the impacts that it's had globally. And so we've actually created a literature review where we've researched quite a bit of like documents and articles, books, etc. And it's just a source of a resource for anyone who's interested in coffee to have a look at those books and just take their own time to sort of do their own research and do some more learning. So that's sort of one of the things that we've done. And the other thing that we've done is that we partnered with NKG, the Newman Cafe Group, and we have 3 mentees, or 3 partners as we like to call them, who are given a paid 12-month work placement where they learn everything there is to learn about green coffee and QC, or quality control, and all the processes in between, and that to help them develop within their career. So we've done, we do quite a bit of work, and this is the 2nd year that we've done our partnership program with NKG, and we've got some other partnerships as well. So yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Are they UK based, those partnerships, or are they more widespread?
Sorry, yes. So the Coffee Coalition of Racial Equity is actually based in the US. However, ideally what we would like to do is to get that right first, and then hopefully use it as a blueprint to sort of expand out to other areas. But the people who are involved in the committee and involved in the CCRE are global. So we've got people based all over the world, not just in America. So yeah. So my role within the CCRE is that I'm the chair of the educational part of the CCRE. So that's my role.
Is it a relatively new organisation then?
So basically, it came out of our founder, Phyllis Johnson. She during the George Floyd and everything that was happening during 2020, she actually wrote an open letter to those within the coffee industry to basically look at things like representation and the imbalances that have occurred within the industry. And from her open letter, she then received lots of sort of communications from other organizations with the coffee industry asking, well, how can we help, and what can we do in order to improve the coffee industry. And so from there, the CCRE was born, and hence why it exists today. So it's been about 3 years, I think. Yeah, about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a birthday? Do you celebrate it?
We normally around Christmas have a little virtual and live sort of shindig, if you like.
Yeah.
But hopefully, because everyone's so spread out across the globe,
Yeah.
it would be fantastic to have it in person meet. I think that meet up. I think that would be awesome to actually see people.
Yeah.
See them in the flesh. So yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So the
We
people
should
that
do
you're
that.
going to Brazil with, have
Hmm.
you met them in person before? Or
No,
is this the
I
first time?
haven't. No, it's
Ah,
all been via, virtual communication.
yeah.
And I joked and I said to them, oh, this is going to be a great opportunity for me to see how tall everyone really is, because everyone everyone, looks the same on screen, but when you actually meet them in person, you really get
Yeah.
a true perspective of that person. So it's going to be good. Yeah.
Amazing. So it's even more special. First
Hmm.
origin trip and first time meeting
Yeah.
people in the flesh.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you will need tissues if
I
you're
I
anything
think
like
I
me the
will.
whole time. You'll be
Yeah.
crying.
I need like boxes of them. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Not just obviously to visit Brazil, which I'm also very excited about, but yes, as you said, to meet all the amazing people that I've come into
Yeah.
contact with via the CCRE. I've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing, talented, skilled people. I'm constantly learning more and more about the coffee industry and about
Mm.
coffee, just by having those interactions. So it's really, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Aren't we all always learning? It always baffles me when I think I've been in the industry like X amount of years, and I feel
Hmm.
like when I entered around year 2, I thought I knew more than I know now, and
Yeah.
I just am like, just there's no end to the learning opportunities, is there? And I think it really changes like how you feel about the industry the more you learn about it. Like
Hmm.
in your time with the CCRE, has it changed how you feel about the industry, or maybe more specifically, like your hopes for where the industry could go in the
Mm.
future?
Yeah, I think a bit of both actually. Definitely, I think the more conversations I have um, with the folks in the CCRE has definitely, it's almost like it's kind of sparks of, oh, that's interesting, and then you kind of like go in that direction and do more sort of maybe your own research, or someone comes to you and say, oh, I would love to know more about the coffee industry within the UK, because being in America, maybe they don't know certain things that are happening here, or in fact we sometimes find that there's some parallels as well. So it's really, you know I feel like it has kept me in the coffee industry, because I've been able to
Mm.
discover so much more, and it's opened my eyes to so much more, and in fact I may have mentioned it when I spoke at one of the coffee events, that maybe like 2-3 years into me sort of discovering coffee as a career choice, that's when I found out that my great grandfather had actually cultivated his own coffee in Jamaica, and I didn't
No.
know that before. And this was just through like going to some webinars through the CCRE, and they talked about coffee being cultivated in the Caribbean and in Jamaica. And then I was telling my cousin about it, and he says, oh, did you know your great grandfather used to cultivate his own coffee? I was like, no, I didn't know that.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's just
Wow.
all these amazing things are just coming together, and it's like, yeah, I feel like this is where I should be
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because your background's design, really. Is
Yeah.
that right? Before.
Yeah. Yeah, my background's in design. I worked in design for about 10 years before moving into coffee, and I don't really have any real interest in coffee aside from the fact that my grandmother used to make some really great, in Jamaica we make our coffee quite sweet, and it's just, yeah, it's just gorgeous. And when she
Mm.
used to make it, you could smell the aroma of coffee, floating through the kitchen into the dining room. So that they're my like earliest memories of coffee. But I had no interest you know, in fact, I don't think I even realized there was this whole sort of various roles and sort of career paths within coffee until
Mm.
more recently, I would say, until I, started delving into the industry a bit more. But yeah, I was a designer for about 10 years. Yeah, nothing to do with coffee. Yeah. And
How did you get into
it's
it then?
kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because I was actually asked to do a sort of like an arts and crafts workshop in this coffee space. Not in a coffee space, sorry, in a space which was next to a coffee store. And in this space, they sold like cakes and teas and things like that. And next door was a coffee shop. And I just remember this queue being wrapped around the corner for this coffee shop. I was thinking, why are they like, or what is it about this coffee that they're so like prepared to queue for like hours and hours, you know? And then when I, being nosy as I am, I sort of looked up coffee and found out that it was this amazing, like, third biggest commodity traded, you know, in the world. And then I found out where it originated from, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. And so I just kind of got more, you know, I just became more interested. And then I saw that, you know, they were using this unusual looking machine, looked really complicated, and to make the coffee and extract this coffee to make, you know, the lattes and cappuccinos and all this sort of stuff. So I thought, I want to learn how to use this machine. And then I applied for a job at this coffee shop, and they had this really great 6 weeks intense coffee training. And so I did that. They didn't let us loose on the machine until we had learnt about you know, dialing in and, you know, all the various parts of the coffee bean and how it's grown and cultivated. And then they sort of showed us how to use the machine. It was like probably third week in that they actually let us loose on the machine. So it's really intense, but really, really good. So I kind of got into it like that. It was by default. Yeah.
Well,
Nosiness. That's what I
yeah,
love.
And being nosy. Yeah.
it doesn't sound like
Being
default to me.
nosy
It
as
sounds
well.
like you
Yeah.
made a pretty conscious effort to go out and get into it. And I like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
your story starts with you kind of seeing the industry, because I think a lot of people, when you
Yeah.
ask them that question, it's because they have a coffee and it blows their mind. You know, they try
Yeah.
that like natural Ethiopia and it's full of
Yeah.
strawberries and milk chocolate,
Mm.
and from that minute then they're hooked. But yeah, I kind of like your story that you were
Yeah.
drawn in by the espresso machine.
I was because I don't know. I like, you know, using your hands and sort of
Mm,
being more tactile with things. I think it probably the parallel I can sort of draw it to is being in art and design. You know, we're using our hands a lot, and you
mhm.
know, I did a lot of textiles and surface design, so we're always like manipulating things and using the industrial sewing machines and various things like that. So that's the parallel I can liken it to, I guess. Yeah.
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 Yeah, you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that you've been taking your office outside, which sounds very
Oh
different to
yeah.
being behind an espresso machine. I'm
Yeah.
reading a book at the moment by a writer called Katie Bowman, and it's all about
Mm.
being outside more and how you can integrate like being outside more into your life and into your life with
Oh.
your family. And she talks about how like centuries ago we would have spent most of our time outside and our homes would have been the place that we went to in the evening, whereas now it's more like our time outside is the time when we spend going to other inside places, which, you know, is true for a lot of people. If you're not someone who like really likes to spend a lot of time outside, then that can be the case. And even though I am a bit of an outside person anyway, it's already like really like encouraging me to do more things outside, and I've been taking my laptop outside as much as I can. And yeah, do you feel like much better when you do that? And what else do you do outside? Are you like a walker, a cyclist? What are you into?
Yeah. Yeah. I love going out into nature, and I'm really lucky where I live because I have a choice of about 3 or 4 green areas and parks, and we've got a mini forest, if you like, which is awesome. I don't get there every day, but I do try and get there a couple of times during the week. It's like I don't know, it feels wrong if I don't go out. I have to go out, and even if
Yeah.
it's raining, I will go and, you know, take a walk somewhere. I'll just put on the wellies and, you know, go and take a little walk in the forest or go to the local park. And yeah, I feel blessed in a way that I have those options, because I know a lot of people don't have that as an option. So I do try and, you know, take advantage of it as much as possible and be grateful for that fact. But yeah, when the weather is super nice like it is at the moment, I do take the laptop out into the, you know, I'll grab my blanket and I'll, you know, grab my food, etc., and drinks and everything else, just to make sure I'm all stocked up, and take myself to the park and just do as much work as I can. Try not to be distracted by all the goings on in the park, but I do like to be in nature as much as possible. And I'm not a cyclist as such, but I do take part in an annual Unity bike ride that takes place in London every year. We had it was
Great.
2 weeks ago, or in August, so that was really, really good fun. So I do
Sick.
that, but I don't actually
Wow.
own a bicycle, but I need to get one. I usually get my friends usually loan me a bike, you know, but
Oh,
I need to buy one of my own.
so is
So
that
but
around
yeah,
London?
it is around London, yeah. So this time it
Mhm.
was from East London all the way to Dulwich Park. Yeah, so that was a
Wow.
nice. It's not a.
You
It's
sound like
not.
a cyclist to me.
Uh, I'm so not. I think I was one of the last to actually get to the finish line, but it's not a race. It's just really just to have fun and, you know, to just, you know, interact with the rest of the community. It's been, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Well,
But
you don't have
yeah.
to preach to Hannah the benefits of cycling.
Yeah. But that book sounds really interesting. I definitely would like to take a read of that, actually. I'll take a note of the title. But I think everyone should go out in nature. I think it's so super important now that a lot of people, since obviously you know, 2020 have been stuck indoors, and there's that
Mhm.
switch to more sort of remote working and virtual working. I think now more than ever we should try and get out in nature as much as possible. I actually
Oh, yeah.
and in fact, via doctor's orders, vitamin D is quite low, so, you know,
Mhm.
getting out in that sunshine is crucial. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would also like to read this book, Hannah. I feel
Well,
like
I will
it's
link
sort
it
of
in the show
preaching to the
notes, and
converted,
I'll send
Yeah,
it
but
to you.
I feel like all of our listeners as well are going to be like, what's the name of that book?
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot around family, so it's a lot about if you've got kids, so how to kind of integrate more movement into their lives, and but I think it would be interesting to anyone, and
Yeah,
Leslie lent it to me,
Yeah, the
obviously.
principles remain true. Of
yeah,
course, Leslie lent it to you. Shout out Leslie, an infinite resource of knowledge.
definitely, definitely. And I think also just thinking about, because I guess my role within coffee's changed quite a bit now. So I'm no longer sort of behind the counter and sort of on
Yeah.
my feet and sort of moving about as much. And that's another reason why, because of my roles changed slightly in the sense that I'm more sort of, I guess, computer based. I think it's even more important now to, you know, get out there and, like you said, incorporate more movement and stuff. Because I think even like as kids, you know, when if you think about when, you know, when you're in primary school and stuff, you had like several breaks, you know, morning
Mhm.
break and lunchtime and stuff.
Yeah.
We'd always be running around the playground and things like that. And
Yeah.
it seems like now we just kind of, we're just sort of mobile.
Yeah.
I don't know, we're just sort of stuck.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
Stuck in one
sedentary now,
place.
aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sedentary. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
friend and I the other day we saw a little kid just like they were just walking in front of us and then they just ran for a bit and then they walked again and then we looked at each other like, when was the last time as adults that you just ran because you could?
Yeah.
Like there's the compulsion to move quicker than walking, and like every now and then if I'm sort of alone now I'll give myself a little like permission to do a little run, and honestly, right, it's super silly, but it always makes me laugh, and it's just like there's some joy to just
Yeah.
movement for the sake of movement and nothing else.
Hmm.
So yeah, every now and then do a little run. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely. Definitely.
Well,
Definitely.
now you've got a dog, you've got a great excuse for being
Yeah,
silly,
Oh,
because
you've
yeah,
got
that's
a
what
dog.
Mia is like my excuse for doing silly things in the park. It's fine, I've got a kid. But you've
yeah,
got a dog now, so
yeah, totally. Yes,
yeah.
yes. Listeners of the
Awesome.
podcast, you'll be thrilled to know that I have a new fur baby called Sid. Um, yeah, if anybody wants to see a picture of him, I'm happy to oblige. I love him. So
What type of dog is it?
it's a crucial part. Well, we've been told he's a Bedlington Terrier, but actually at the park yesterday, he also met a Bedlington Terrier, and Sid is like 3 times the size of him.
Oh
So
wow.
I think he might be a Bedlington Terrier cross because he's got
Ah.
the Bedlington shaped face, but he's a very thick dog, it's chonky. So Misk, but he's beautiful, and I love him.
Oh.
And I will send you a picture after this if you like.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh.
The campaign that you ran on your Instagram for International Women's
Oh.
Month. Should we ask you
Oh
about that?
yeah.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
yeah, I just kind of like it was a little bit last minute, but it's something that I had on my mind for such a long time. I really wanted to get to know more um black and brown women who work in the coffee industry. I think when I first started, I didn't know anybody, and it was quite I just didn't know anyone else that looked like me that were working in the coffee industry, and I was determined to find some people. And I think after sort of around 2020, that's when I started to slowly see, especially on Instagram, I just started to see more people um, from the African diaspora who were working in the coffee industry, and it was really great to see, and I was really excited by that. And I started to connect with a few more people. Although a lot of them were based in America, I slowly started to find more that were based in the UK. And I just thought it'd be nice during the International Women's Month to maybe just highlight some of them, because I felt like if it took me this long to find them, then there may be other people out there who don't know about them, about the work that they're doing, and may be interested in finding out more about them. So I just sort of, reached out to them, and they were all really keen to be featured. You'll see Phyllis Johnson's on there from the CCRE. We've got the Sister Baristas on there as well. We've got Good Pico are out there as well. So I tried to. The idea was to try and feature one person for every day of that month. I think I got about 30. I didn't put them out every day, obviously, but they're all there. Well, they're not all there, but there's a lot out there now. And I would love to. I've got more that I want to add, so I'll probably do that later on in the year. Yeah.
Cool. What was the response to that like, from people who follow you on Instagram or people in the industry?
Yeah, so I had quite a few DMs from people who said, "Oh, wow, I didn't know I live around the corner from this particular cafe. I had no idea it existed." And there were people who actually visited some of those spots that I'd mentioned,
Yes.
and started to post about them on their own Instagram feeds as well, which was fantastic. And also people started to reach out to me and say, "Oh, did you know about this particular person? They've got a coffee shop, or this person, they have a roastery." And so now I've started to build up a larger sort of network of people who are not just based in the US or in the UK, but in other parts of the world, which I had no clue that they even existed. So I'm really excited to sort of feature them as well, and maybe out of that create another project. So
Yeah. So I assume you're receptive to that. So if people listening want to get in touch with you to maybe celebrate someone they know, or businesses, or themselves, like we should always celebrate ourselves. Are you open to people getting in touch with
Oh,
you?
for sure. Absolutely. We hope to soon maybe do whether it's a virtual meetup or something of that nature, where we can sort of get to know each other a bit more, and maybe exchange ideas, and sort of have a bit more of that sort of supportive network going on. So yeah, definitely open to that.
So where can people find you if they want to get in touch?
So they can get me they can DM me on Instagram, Afropolitan Barista. Bit of a mouthful, but yeah, Afropolitan Barista, or can also email me as well at afropolitanbarista@gmail.com. Yeah.
Julianne,
Yeah.
thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Georgina. It's been a real pleasure to get to know a bit more about all the projects you're involved in. And yeah, we highly recommend our listeners to go out and look at what you're doing and connect with you. And there's nothing like being part of this wonderful coffee community and us all coming together, whether it's virtually or in person. So hope to see you at one of our events soon. And
definitely.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you,
Thank
Hannah.
you so much for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Hannah. I really appreciate having this chat. It's been awesome. And always keen to connect more with others within the industry. So yeah, reach out.
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, that was an amazing interview, an amazing chat. I am not hatefully jealous, but pretty jealous of the incoming trip to Brazil. And for those of you who are listening in real time and want to catch up with Georgina in person, she is actually due to join a panel discussion at this year's Manchester Coffee Festival running 18th to 19th of November. She will be joining a panel discussing why safe spaces are a vital part of coffee events and coffee education. That will be at 10:30 on Sunday, so be sure to come along and get to know her in person. And failing that, we'll put all the links she mentioned to her socials and her email address in the show notes as well.
Yeah, we'll see you there. Thanks once again for listening to this week's episode of Brewing It Over. Don't forget to like and subscribe, helps us out loads, and we will see you all for another episode soon. Bye.
Bye.